Now that we learned how to dimension the part, let me show you how to rotate it into your two-dimensional view, and that way you can see your two-dimensional part along with your three-dimensional drawing. Let's switch back to the top view, which is the view in which we drew our part. To rotate your object, use a command called rotate 3D. Enter. Select your objects. Pick them all. Enter. You need to draw an axis. The vertical axis would be off to the left side of the part. The rotation angle is going to be 45 degrees. Repeat the command, rotate 3D, select your same objects, enter. This time your axis will be horizontal, and your rotation angle is going to be 35.375. There's our part. Let's move the part. Take ortho off temporarily. Let's remove the dimensions. As you can see, I forgot to copy this over when we extruded it originally. I should have made a copy before we extruded, so that's a note to self to remember to do that in the future. Okay, I added the lines back in the top view. The dimension layer, you can change this color to something visible when yellow is too light for a white background by just switching it back to white. You can see your dimensions much clearer. You would move all of your parts together, center in your views, and now you have a drawing that displays both your two-dimensional and three-dimensional part. Now let's talk about materials. Let me switch back to the 3D modeling layer. Click on the Render tab. Click on your Materials browser. It will take some time to load the Materials browser. In your Materials browser, you need to find specific materials for this part, and there's a lot to choose from over here. You can even go online and pick more. We're going to add the materials to this part, so I shall zoom into it. I'm going to use a metal for this part. I'm going to choose machine number 2. And you drag it into this area here in which you're working. You grab the material and drop it onto the part. It's now attached to the part. To see it, click on View, change this to Realistic, and there's our surface material, as you can see there. Under the Render tab, you can click on Render and view your part. It creates an image like this. To change the background every render window, to begin, click on the down arrow under Environment, turn on Fog and the background. Click OK. Take a look at our rendering. Still black. Under View tab, click on View Manager, highlight Model Views, click on New. We need to give a name of the view we're going to be using. We're going to call it Background. At the bottom of our screen where it says Background, change to Solid. This pop-up window will show up. Click on Color, click on Index Color, choose White, click OK, OK, and click OK, Apply, and OK. Go back to Render, click on Render, still have a black background. Change our color to white. Render. Still black. Let's go back to View. View Manager. Check our background. Click on Solid. Click on Edit. Color still white. Go Render. Not sure why we needed to do that, but we had to do all that, and we have a white background. Backgrounds still baffle me in this program. You can see the fog, what it does. However, when I take the fog off, using my assumption how this works, so does the color. It goes back to a black background. You have to wait for the render to finish before you can do anything. So I'll put the fog back on, render again, and we have a white background with the fog. But at least we got some detail. Let's continue. If you edit the material settings, you'll get to the material editor. You can also get to the material editor here. We're clicking that arrow right there. Each material has a lot of features that can be customized. Too much to discuss here. One of the more common concerns is reflectivity when you add light. Because this will be reflecting the light, you might have to take it off sometimes in order to see your material. Right now, reflectivity is on. Let me turn on the sun status of this part. You can see how the sun affects this image of our part as you play with the date and time, and you can also set the location. You need to be online to do that. When we render that with the sunlight on, you'll start getting the black shadowing of wherever the sun happens to be located or hitting this part. You could also add lights to the part. There's different types of lights that you can add. There's a lot you need to know about this as well. And you just put one in there for now. I don't know exactly where it is in three-dimensional space. Click on Render and see what we have here. Not much different as before. The more lighting and rendering processes that you need, the longer it takes for this to render. I will remove the light, picking the light, deleting it. If you take off reflectivity when the sun is on, it will not be as shiny as you see there. So choose a material, render it with a background that is not black. Now that you added a material, you can use the render command to look at how your part is. The three-dimensional part would be the only part that actually renders. You could faintly see parts of your title block. If you want to zoom in on just the part, do so. When you get to your render window and the rendering is completed, you could save your images as JPEGs. Click on Save, change your format type to JPEG, give it a file name, and save it. For this drawing for Lesson 3, I want you to show me a view like this, save it with a material added to the part, and we better update our title block. .3D render. Okay, save your drawing.